Good afternoon. Welcome back to the fall. This is your host, Dr. Terrell Talton, and you're listening to the Facts and Truth podcast. It's been a while since you've heard from us, but we're so glad that you're back. I'm here today to talk with you a little bit about my redone book that we are now getting ready to republish with some up-to-date and current and factual information with 7 Days in Creation. Before we start with that, though, I wanted to touch on something that really hurt my heart. I was a big Cosby Show fan, and it really did bother me when I heard about Theo dying in the water. And the way he died was very mysterious because no one else knew about it, and come to find out that it was way more to it than that. Facebook and all family that are paying attention to this, listen to me. Anytime you carry truth, you're a threat to the society. Anytime you speak truth, someone's not going to like it. Malcolm Jamal Warner was a truth teller, and he was getting ready to expose some of the things going on in Hollywood. He was in the middle of getting ready to do a memoirs, notes. He had written on it when he went to the so-called island to swim. The reason why this is interesting is, number one, his email address and his emails were getting stopped or hacked for the last couple of weeks before he went to this trip. For the last couple of years, he has not been able to get roles on films. This is a very intelligent and talented actor. He told his wife the week before he died that if I die, it will not be an accident. When he did die, they did the fastest autopsy in the history of death. The autopsy was done in less than 8 hours, and then they cremated him without any permission or his own notes. His own family said that it was his, he wrote down that he wanted to be cremated, but they said they had no idea. So he was cremated with just the only people who had the information in the autopsy were the ones that were inside of the actual place where they do the autopsy at. Other words, no accountability. His phone, missing. His computer, missing. His notes, missing. His email, locked up. No one can get his old emails. Everything that's attached to Mr. Warner is not even available to be used even by his own family members. Bill Cosby, which was his play dad, was also supposed to be one of his mentors, who was telling him to quit meddling in the business, was trying to teach him how to be if you don't mind me calling it, a good so-called boy. Malcolm didn't like that. He didn't like to be told what he could and could not do just simply because of who he was and the color of his skin. Isn't it funny that Bill Cosby never spoke out when he died? He said nothing. The rest of the cast members said nothing. Don't you find that odd? That here's a man that was on one of the most popular shows in the 90s for 10 years, and nobody from the show has had anything to say since he's died? This is just something to start with. Remember, the name of our show is called Facts, Truth. We don't just talk, we tell it like it is. And sometimes that's uncomfortable. Well, I wanted to start and lead off with that show because, again, we deal with facts and truth. Yes, he did die in the water. But how did a current sweep him up, and how do you know that was his cause of death? How did that happen and no one else was there? You got to ask yourself questions. Too much is going wrong. We now go on to our book and our lesson for today. When dealing with, and you're going to have to ignore the voices, we're recording in our favorite place, down Bel Air Houston Library, who we thank so much. The people here have been great to us for the last couple of years. And we want to thank. And today I want to also give a shout out to my son, who's also with me helping running the board. Say what's up, Makai. So I have my son here with me as well as we're recording, and I can't tell you how big a pleasure that is. But back to our point today. We're going to be dealing with the book of Genesis, the first chapter, dealing with light. And I hope that after I explain it and you actually pay attention when we work with it, it might bring a revelation to what we've been talking about now for some time, about what actually happened during creation. I know none of us were there, but the way it's written is very confusing if you don't understand how God operates. So if you will, go with me to the book of Genesis, the first chapter, and we're going to go to the third verse. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God saw the light and that it was good. Sounds pretty simple, reasonable. Problem is most people don't know what that light was. We know for a fact it was not the sun because the sun was created on the fourth day. This is day one. So it could not have been the S-U-N, sun. Well, what light was it that he created? Well, let's go back to John 1 and 1. If you have a Bible, go to St. John, the first chapter and the first verse. Reading from King James Version, it reads, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Not anything that was made," second verse, "and not anything that was made without the Word." Now that was paraphrased on purpose. So for you to understand what I'm talking about, let's go ahead and substitute two different words so you know we're talking about the same one. The word God, we can substitute with the word Father. Father is a title. The word, we know we're talking about Jesus. So instead of saying the word, let's just say Jesus. So in the beginning was Jesus, and the Jesus was with the Father, and the Jesus was the Father. Wait a minute, that's not too deep, that's not going away. I'm still talking about the same God. Now we go back to Genesis. So don't get lost, stick with me. Genesis said, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That word God in Genesis is the Hebrew word Elohim, which means God plural. So there again, John 1 and Genesis 1 line up. Both God the Father and God the Son created everything. Now let's go back to that third verse where it says, in the beginning God created the light. Don't get lost. Keep your finger back on John. The fourth verse says, in him was the life, and his life was the light of all men. Who is that life? That's Jesus. So Jesus' title was the Word, but he came as the light. He's the light that was shown on the first day. Bible did not say he was created. It said, let there be. Let there be means I'm actually revealing something that's already here. If I said, let there be a book, I'm not making the book right in your face. I'm bringing something to your attention that's already here. Let there be light. Light was already in the beginning before God created the heaven and the earth, because you can't start time until you start the creation. Matter of fact, let me help you understand something. How can you call God a God if there's no one to, watch this, worship him? You cannot have a president unless he has people. You can't have a king unless you have subjects. It takes people or a being, someone to be living in order for them to give you a title. There's no title without a creation. So God had to make a creation in order to be called God. I hope I didn't lose you there. So light was not the sun. Light was Jesus. He is the light of everything. If you want me to take it there another level, he said God created the heavens and the earth. Heaven is a word that's used for man. Remember, it was Moses that wrote the first 5 books. So he's getting this information from God himself, face to face. This was some 2,000 years after Adam was created. After Adam was created. So Moses got this way after Adam. Still, he heard directly from God. Well, why is that so important? Because God does not see us the way we see us. He can look at the past, the present, and the future at the same time. God lives outside of time. Let me show it to you this way. Let's say that you're watching a parade from a helicopter. If you're in a helicopter, you can see the beginning of the parade and the end of the parade at the same time. That's how God is. God can look at Adam and look at your great great grandchildren at the same time. He's above time. So when he created the earth, he started with his son that made light, who is the light. And then after he had placed the light to start his creation, he separated darkness. Listen to what this is. How was there darkness for the creation? Do you not follow the Bible? Look at Genesis 1 and 1. What does it say? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the next verse says, and the earth was dark, form, and void. That means with no form and void. That means there was nothing on the earth. How did God create something that had no light, no life? He didn't create it. He never made something bad. Everything he made is good. It may have turned bad, but it was never created bad. Oh, no, you don't know what I know. I know some people who are bad. No, 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 no. Nobody was created bad. Sin has started in the world, and folks have different issues because of their what they call bloodline. Somebody in your bloodline may have had some issues. Well, you have issues. That don't mean that you were born bad. That don't mean that you were created bad. We're all born in sin because of Adam's sin, but we're not bad. I'm gonna prove my point. So God is light. Christ is light. And everything that's created was created based upon light. Heaven itself is not called heaven, but only on earth. What, you confused? Let me help you understand. When you actually are in heaven, you're in light. When people said they're dying, what do they say that they're seeing? I saw the light. People who said they've been to heaven, they said it was surrounded by light. When Christ returns back on the earth, he's going to be the light of the world. Everything that deals with God deals with light. The enemy, who also we call the devil or Satan, he is an angel who's transformed into an angel of light. He represents darkness because darkness means evil, or I won't even use the word evil because evil is not necessarily bad. I know that's a weird statement what I said, but I can prove it. But the devil is a liar. He paints himself to be righteous when he's not. The word angel means messenger. So Satan is a messenger of light. What's another word for angel in today's society? We call them preachers. In the book of Revelation, an angel of the church was actually a pastor, the leader of the church. So Satan has transformed himself into, well, listen to me again, a leader of churches. Why do you think religion is so messed up? Why do you think people are worse now in church than they are in the real world? No morality, no guidance, no difference. You can't tell the difference between the church and the world. People living whatever kind of life they want to live. Well, that's his intention. Light stands for truth. Light stands for purity. Light stands for righteousness. Darkness stands for untruth. Darkness stands for impurity. Darkness stands for ignorance. The Dark Ages was not called the Dark Ages because there was no sun. It was called the Dark Ages because there was no knowledge. People were ignorant, eating all food raw with their bare hands. That's what they did during the Dark Ages. Any case, back to light. Light's purpose was never to, how can we say, was never to make everybody perfect. Light's job is to expose. This video is being made and we have lights to show upon me. They're not to show how beautiful I am, because we know that's a lie. It's here to show that there's actually a person here speaking, that you're actually seeing someone in front of your screen. Lights reveal what's going on. So the purpose of light that started in the beginning was to set a standard that everything that's in light is in truth. Would you like me to prove it even further? On the first day, when God created, he said the evening and the morning were called day. That's how he created the first day. But the evening and morning were also named day and night. They were capitalized. Why was that important? Because day and night are not just a time, they're a destination. That means there's a place for you to be. Light is just a way for you to see. It's a guidance. It means that you are set apart. You're not the same. You're not made to be a part of, watch this, darkness. I have a lot more that I want to share, but this is my introduction on today. We're starting back with the broadcast. We wanted to say hello and shout to all of our people who have been following us. Stay tuned. We're going to be on a regular time from now on. Look for us on Thursdays. We will be on probably on Thursday or Friday is when you'll actually see the video. But stay tuned. If you have any questions, we'll have our place for you to comment on. You can also send your request to factstruthpodcast@gmail.com. I'm your host, Dr. Terrell Talton. It's been a pleasure. We'll catch you next time. Stop. Don't do that.